Gotcha! Alright, spill it. Why were you stalking us?
I wasn't stalking you. I was just lurking, watching what you were doing and trying to figure out these shadows.
That's called stalking!
I just noticed a bunch of shadows suddenly pop up around the ruins. Then you and this weird cat showed up, and it looked like you could talk to them.
So, you got curious?
Exactly. I thought maybe these ghosts of history had summoned you. So I decided to tail you and see what I could find out.
I see now. You misunderstood. We don't know where these ghosts of history came from, and we can't talk to the shadows. But we can hear what they're saying. So, the ghosts of history, is that what you're calling them?
Yes. Allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm Phoebe, and I'm a historian. I came to these ruins because I'm researching a subject related to the Mistveil War. And for this particular topic, I have a special connection. An ancestor who was a fanatic wisher.
Fanatic wishers? Not really. I just picked up some bits and pieces from the shadows. I was hoping to find someone who knows more.
If I remember right, the Fanatic Wishers raided for a wish in Stoneville under the Mistveil, and they stole the Arosa Scepter, didn't they?
And those shadows we saw, they said the serpent disguised herself as a divine envoy and took the scepter. Phoebe, do you know anything about that?
Strange. Unlike my family, you don't seem afraid of the name Fanatic Wishers.
Well, if you said you wanted to destroy Wishfield and make everyone miserable, then yes, I'd be scared. Actually, no. I'd be really mad. But since you haven't told us why you mentioned them, I figured I'd listen till the end.
If only more people thought like you. The truth is, my family's full of people we're proud of. It's just that one ancestor who joined the Fanatic Wishers. No one ever talks about him. It's like he's a ghost.
Being afraid of someone long gone, someone you can't even see, it does sound like facing a ghost.
Exactly. But I've never liked pretending things didn't happen. All these years, I've been chasing the truth behind that ghost. Ah, sorry, I still haven't answered your question. That divine envoy you mentioned might actually be linked to my ancestor.
Really?
Yes, that so-called divine envoy is rarely mentioned. In fact, in all the historical records I've read, there's nothing connecting them to the Mistveil War, and nothing at all that links them to the Arosa Scepter. Only a single journal page I found buried in my family's archives. It briefly mentions that divine envoy. From what I gathered, I believe my ancestor might not have joined the Fanatic Wishers out of malice, but for some greater purpose. Nikki, I happened to overhear you speaking to the shadows earlier, so I'd like to ask for your help.
Hold up! How do you know Nikki's name? How long were you eavesdropping for?
All of it? The things you've discovered are incredibly valuable. I was actually planning to include it in my thesis. I'll list you in the acknowledgements, of course.
That's tempting, Phoebe. Actually, I've also been investigating a mysterious voice that may be linked to that so-called divine envoy. Maybe we can team up.
Amazing. Who knows? I might be able to uncover the voice's identity from historical records. Then you can help me prove that the Forgotten Ghost was actually someone remarkable. In that case, Nikki, I'd make you a co-author on my thesis.
What about me? Me!
Of course, and Momo too. I can't wait to start working with you both. Nikki, I've cross-referenced several locations where the shadows are gathering in large numbers. I found that many of them overlap with key sites from the Mistveil War. So, based on that, I made some educated guesses about where else the shadows might gather. Let's start right away.
Found you! Nowhere to hide now!
From what I've observed, blue fireflies tend to gather around the shadows. They could lead the way.
Nikki, look! The blue fireflies are moving! Let's follow them!
It shouldn't be far now. I wonder what we'll discover.
I'm sorry, Alicia. I didn't mean to bother you. I just wanted to quietly leave these 2 sprigs of soft daisies at your door. My sister headed out early this morning after you defeated the monsters in that area. She said she was gathering materials for the women. I was just thinking...
Oh, I totally forgot about...
You...
Of course I remember. I remember the...
That voice. Nikki,
So, that was Alicia. The one killed by Sith the Serpent. That voice we heard must, from the sound of it, during the war brought terrible suffering to innocent people.
what a tragedy. Nikki, do you think she was so well-loved back then?
Maybe. Also, she was... Let's ask Phoebe when we...
Strange. Many of the shadows we passed on the way don't quite match my hypothesis. Nikki, I'd like to check another location later to confirm my hypothesis. Could you help by listening to the nearby shadows and recording what they say?
Hey, did you hear? During the last wishing ceremony, people asked the Divine Envoy to grant them shelter. And they actually got it! They say we can all hide in that huge cavern now! The Wishing One really did send an envoy to protect us! There's still hope!
Divine Envoy, when the Silver Gale left us for good, please plant a lamp bloom for them. That would...
A wishing ceremony. I guess there are some wishes,
And the Divine Envoy was actually...
but the serpent did build a shelter for them. She tried to make their wishes come true. Also, something a shadow said earlier was kind of strange. It was like he'd actually been there. We really need to tell Phoebe about all...
Hey, is he okay? He keeps talking to that scale bracelet, laughing and crying, like a conversation. That bracelet. Doesn't it look just like the Divine...
You don't know the story. A few days ago, he volunteered to help haul supplies. He returned and broke down in tears, saying that maybe if he'd had...
Nikki, they mentioned the scale bracelet.
Could it really be that...
But she's not even a real Divine Envoy. Why...
If it was just about gaining people's trust, they already... Unless she was up to something.
No way she did all this. Just...
Wait. Didn't Deanna also lose a scale? Momo, let's head to the lakeside.
Before we head back to Phoebe, let's go ask about the scale bracelet.
Looks like everyone nearby has been told. One more time, let's circle the lake, just in case anyone's in trouble.
Deanna, what are you muttering about?
Oh, Nikki and Momo! It's kind of a long story. Not long after you two left, a bunch of strange shadows started appearing around the Blue Tears, so I figured I'd hang around, just in case. Why are you two back here?
Well...
This
scale bracelet was given to my ancestor a long time ago when a passing ranger and her companion saved him from a monster. This can protect you from Esslings. Keep it close until you don't need it anymore. That's all the ranger said before hurrying off. So how long would they need it for? For generations, this remained unanswered. Back in that age of disaster and chaos, who wouldn't want something like that?
Exactly! A life-saving item? You'd never let it go.
But when someone else collapsed right in front of my ancestor, that's when he understood. The apocalypse shattered the old ways of life, like a storm or a wildfire. Everyone got swept up in it. No one could stand against it alone. The ranger couldn't save everyone, neither could my ancestor. But at the very least, he could save the person in front of him. Since then, that bracelet has been passed along, and our family began to travel. They went from one country to another. The more suffering they witnessed, the more they realized how much more suffering there was in places we couldn't see.
For one bracelet, that's very profound.
Oh, I didn't want to burden you before, so I didn't tell you. I grew up hearing that story often. I dreamed of becoming someone like that ranger, someone who could give others strength. To me, she felt like a faraway friend, like a star in the sky. I always wondered, all those centuries ago, what kind of person was she, and where did she travel? My family believes the bracelet is meant for whoever dares to go the farthest, where danger lurks in the unknown. Before my grandmother passed, she gave it to me and encouraged me to start my own journey. That's why I came to Wishfield. I wanted to learn more about the ranger. This is where she came from. But these past few days, I haven't had much luck.
What's her name? Maybe we've heard of her.
Alicia. Ranger Alicia, and her friend Sith.
Wait, Sith? You mean Alicia and Sith the Serpent were friends? Deanna, when your ancestor met her, was Sith a giant serpent?
I've never heard anything like that. If she was a giant serpent, I'm sure my ancestor would have mentioned it.
But the bracelets are the same, and have the same power. Just one was given by Alicia, and the other by Sith the Serpent. What exactly was their relationship? Were they allies or enemies?
That era was so long ago. Most of its history has been lost to time. I've been here for so long, and until you showed up, I hadn't heard a single word about Alicia. But you've uncovered a lot. I'm sure you'll figure it out.
You're right. Come on, Momo. Let's check out the rest of the shadows nearby.
Good luck! And please, if you do discover anything about Alicia, promise you'll tell me. You can find me at the Meadow Wharf!
Investigation complete. Nikki, let's go back and talk to Phoebe about everything we've discovered.